Hi everyone, Fredric Aasbo here, driver of the Rockstar Energy GR Supra here in FD, and I wanted to quickly go over my sim drifting setup. So I actually got started in drifting on a sim. I was probably 14, 15, 16 years old. I had a really basic play seat setup back then. It was the Petter Solberg seat and a really basic steering wheel, and I used to play a game called Live for Speed. And back then there were no force feedback. It was all quite simple, but I learned the basics of drifting that way. And now, fast forward 2022, the technology has gotten so far, it feels almost like it's real life. My setup at home is the Playseat Trophy. I think it's a game changer when it comes to having a seat that feels like the real thing, yet it's smaller, you can pack it together. It's a very clever design. And it's equipped with a SimMagic Alpha Mini wheelbase, the full drift style wheel. I got their sequential shifter and the dope hydraulic 2000 pedals. I think we're starting to see the power of sim drifting in actual drift competition. And a lot of kids are now coming up and they're absolutely incredible behind the wheel once they step into a real car. And that comes from that sim drifting. With that said, I think you gotta be careful to practice the right way. I think it's easy to fall into the habit of relying on that reset button. It's so easy to just turn laps in a sim to where each lap doesn't mean that much. Whereas in competition, we're only allotted 12 laps pre-qualifying. So you gotta make sure that every lap counts and don't make it a habit. Make it an honest practicing for competition where you make every corner, every inner clip, every outer zone matter. I have several good tandem partners that I drive with around the world, be it in Europe or here in the US or in Japan. My wife, for instance, is one. She's an aspiring semi-pro drifter, getting better and better. She'll beat me one day, even though I'll do my very best to avoid that. Got some other friends that aren't into real competition drifting, but they're still amazing drivers. And we practice on frozen lakes in Europe. We do low power, yet grippy setups in the summer. So the good thing about tandeming with FD caliber drivers is that you know what you're gonna get. But I also think that practicing with people that aren't necessarily championship contenders is a good thing as well, because you don't know what you're gonna get. It prepares you for the unknown. You know, in drifting, sometimes you get thrown a curveball and you gotta be able to react to that. Thanks for watching, and catch me on Throdle.